get my 6 from the beautiful city of Louisville, Kentucky, and out here in front of a place I've been wanting to go to and visit and see for a long time. This is the Muhammad Ali Center, museum honoring the life and the achievements of the world's greatest boxer, one of the greatest human beings in history. It's been a dream to come here for a long time. We're outside the outside foyer. As soon as you come here, it's so beautiful. Want to get this on camera. So come with us inside and let's check out a blast from the past. Highlights of the life of an extraordinary man. All right, so the way it works is you come up the elevator to the 5th floor and there's an orientation theater. We got Muhammad Ali stuff everywhere. There's big lines waiting to get into the theater. Man.
Put them all together in one body, in one mind. Is the greatest thing.
Wow, look at that. A boxing ring with... Wow.
Oh, you should go shopping there.
Playing that quality thoughts tonight would go down as the greatest upset in ring history.
If you like to lose your money, be a fool and bet on Sunday.
He wasn't called the Louisville Lip for nothing. Cassius Clay shook up the boxing world as he turned self-promotion into an art form.
I'm not only I'm a Lord, I'm a prophet, I'm the resurrector, I'm the savior of the boxing world. Who would have dreamed when they came to the fight that they would witness the launching of the human satellite?
My last 3 fights, I predicted a 4-round knockout. I knocked out Sonny Banks in 4 rounds. I knocked out Don Juan in 4 rounds, and I just annihilated George Logan in 4 rounds.
I predicted he will go in next to prove that I am great. If he won't go to heaven, I'll get him to the devil. He'll be in a worse of fix if I cut him to 6. If he keeps talking jobs, I'll cut him to 5.
Keep approaching my office, keep it close.
Well, you know what that matters. You know what that matters. I'm the biggest. But I'm not going to run down. If you get too small on that, you won't.
All right, I want to get footage of this. Some gloves signed by Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, and Joe Frazier, the 3 greatest of that era, late 60s, early 70s, through the 70s, of course, with Ali going on into the early 90s. Oh, Ali's beating up Howard Cosell. Oh, missed it.
You want to get Joe Frazier? I'm going to hook Joe Frazier. I'm going to show him what the real world champion is. We just signed the contract and it's all over. You get your ticket, you come to see it, because I'm going to give him a good whooping. I predict that when I meet Joe Frazier, this will be like a good amateur fighting a real professional.
No one drew a crowd like Muhammad Ali.
It depends on like part of that. It's unbelievable.
While most boxers simply had fights, when Ali was in the ring, it was nothing less than a spectacle.
This thing is bigger than boxing. People are watching this fight in hundreds of watch fights. Never been an event in the history of the planet Earth this big.
Ernie Shavers, huh? Foreman, yeah. Oh yeah. Rumble in the jungle stuff going on there. Here's Ernie Shavers, the man who Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, and Joe Frazier all said punches harder than anybody that ever fought. It was Ernie Shavers. He almost won the title twice, never won it though. There he is. Sneaky right in the 8th round, knocked Big George down, got him. Something they said Muhammad Ali would never do. Uh-huh.
My father was a master of rolling the punches. He was there when he was
Oh, this is his daughter giving instructions on how to
kept
box.
moving his head, the boy didn't hear. Being in a proper boxing stance is the best place to start. Keep those hands up, elbows tucked in at your side, and keep your chin down. You don't want you getting knocked out. You can block punches or duck and slip them. The bottom line is, just don't get hit. Try it with me. Keep your body moving. Just don't be a stationary target. See? It's easy. Well, 3 minutes are up. Imagine doing that for 10 to 12.
You do good, honey.
Next time
Yeah.
you watch a fight,
Put
think
somebody
about
in
it.
here throwing at me.
I hope you learn a little bit. My dad and I go in the ring. Keep those hands up, chin tucked, and just keep punching.
Yeah, you're fine.
This is inside the, like a training ring. It's neat, isn't it? You got, shows you the basic skills. Honey, I boxed for like 20 seconds and I'm worn out.
You're tired from driving.
Yeah. I'm going to read this. It says, the most important thing I know about the spirit of sport is that one has to be fit in both body and mind. Whether it's boxing, basketball, badminton, one must be ready to succeed before entering the arena. Long before the lights come up. Muhammad Ali said that in 1998. So it's being ready, being prepared before the battle. Speed. As Ali says, I'm so fast last night I turned off the light switch in the motel room and got into bed before the room was dark. Let's see if I can do it too. I guess not. Last night we stayed at a motel. I turned off the light switch and it was so dark by the time I got in bed I'd fallen down 3 times. Alright, I'm going to read this quote to you. Muhammad Ali said this in 1980. If I had to pinpoint one thing that made me the greatest, it would be the mind and the willpower to be a winner. My determination as a fighter was always to be successful. I set my goal and I went right to it. Notice he didn't say anything about he cared about what other people thought. He didn't get the approval of other people in his life to proceed with his goals before he did it. He set his mind, his willpower, this is what he wanted to do, and he went after it. He didn't care what anybody else thought or said about it. That is the mindset of the champion.
Yep.
So you hold this bag and it shows you what it felt like to hold a heavy bag for Ali.
Yeah.
Is this how you do it, buddy? Oh no, it says do not punch. Place your hands on this heavy bag. Embrace your feet and your body to feel the power of the heavyweight punch. Do not punch. Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Don't turn back on. Oh.
Shot. Those old lady did, they see the kid used to talk a lot, bounce around. I'm through talking. He knew, I knew he was going to beat Lister.
That's after he first beat Liston the first time.
15 months later, the new champ with a new name met Lister in a rematch.
Liston wants to get this fight over very quickly. A short, juicy right to the jaw. Liston goes down.
Fighting now as Muhammad Ali, the champ quickly overwhelmed Lister. Ali stood secure in his position as the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Over the next 2 years, Ali jabbed, danced, and shuffled his way through 8 title defenses. Included were fights with George Chuvalo, Henry Cooper, Floyd Patterson, and Ernie Terrell. His artistry displayed strokes of brilliance unmatched by any other heavyweight fighter. This brilliance shone brightest just as Ali's career would suffer a devastating blow. But even after the 3.5-year exile from boxing that was imposed on him because of his refusal to be drafted for military service, the artist's passion for his craft never faded. When he returned, he simply began anew, dusting off his canvas, displaying fresh colors and a new palette, and outlining the fallen position of his comeback opponent, Jerry Corbin.
It was important because he got into the swing of things. The quarry fight was a perfect fight, actually. Muhammad was able to utilize his skills and offset Jerry.
Retain of the champion, Muhammad Ali.
In less than 2 months, Ali fought again, beating Oscar Bonavena by technical knockout in the 15th round. It was a tough fight, but it placed Ali right where he wanted to be.
And again, it's over. Ali is the knockout winner at 2 minutes and 3 seconds.
Poised again to sit at the top of the boxing world. Ready and eager to regain the title he had not lost in the ring, but was no longer his. The undisputed heavyweight championship rested in the hands of a new champion, Smoking Joe Frazier.
Joe comes out smoking, I ain't gonna be joking. I'll be pecking and a poking, pouring water on this smoking.
By all accounts, it had become the most anticipated boxing event ever.
This might shock and amaze you, but I will retire Joe Frazier. I'll knock him out, I'll stop him. He's meeting Muhammad Ali, the original champ.
The fight was a build-up of one of the greatest publicity campaigns in the history of publicity campaigns.
Wait till I get you in the ring. Joe Frazier, the heavyweight champion of the world. Clumsy, ugly, flat-footed Joe Frazier. I'll show you what a real champion is.
He's ugly, he can't talk, he can't box, he can't dance, he can't do no shuffle, and he writes no poems.
Not only was Madison Square Garden sold out in one day, every closed-circuit ticket locale around the country was sold out in one day.
Talk like a butterfly, sing like a bee. Oh, rough a young man
The electricity, the excitement, the country divided, $1 million a fight, which had never happened before. All of these things led to the drama. And the end of the exile, and the emotions in that room, the emotions of the two fighters.
Here comes Ali, red, all red tassels on his shoes.
Now here comes Joe Frazier.
Frazier, brocaded green. It just kept building and building.
For the first time in heavyweight championship history, we have 2 undefeated fighters in there.
The fight opened with Frazier constantly on the hunt, bobbing, weaving, and hooking.
Frazier will try to bore in and catch his man.
Unexpectedly, Ali stood toe-to-toe with Frazier, jabbing as Frazier attacked.
And he's trying it. 15 seconds to go in the round.
And then tying him up and shaking his head as if to say, Frazier could not hurt him. It was a brutal fight, and both fighters would sustain injuries. Ali jabbed and countered with lightning-fast combinations, laboring under the constant pursuit of Frazier. In the 15th round, that pressure would prove too much for Ali. At 2 minutes and 34 seconds into the round, with Ali on the attack, Frazier let fly the left hook that dramatically sent Ali to the canvas. Ali got up and continued to battle, but the fight was lost. Ali set out to meet Joe Frazier again, but it would take more than 2 years and 13 fights before he had his rematch.
The referee may be deciding whether he's going to stop the fight. He is stopping the fight.
He suffered only one setback along the way. In a tough 12-round fight, Ali courageously battling through the pain of a first-round broken jaw, lost by decision to Ken Norton.
Muhammad Ali, the loser, on a 12-round decision to unheralded Jimmy Norton.
5 months later, he avenged that loss, turning the tables on Norton with his own 12-round decision victory.
I think Jimmy hurt.
Joe Frazier was next. They would meet in Madison Square Garden for the second of what would become a grueling 3-fight saga. This fight found both men standing at the final bell. But the championship still eluded him. To regain the belt, Ali would have to take it from George Foreman, who had knocked out Joe Frazier for the title. This next masterpiece would be on display in Africa. It was called The Rumble in the Jungle.
Those of us who loved him were all afraid that he was going to get badly hurt fighting George Foreman. He could just destroy Joe Frazier, pulverize Joe Frazier. I was certain I could whip him.
And Ali goes to the ropes doing a whip, much to the shock of both Ruben Lee Brown and Angelo Dundee. They're hollering, get off the ropes, get off the ropes.
So you charge him, and you beat him up, and you beat him up, and then finally, at the end of it, when you don't have any more energy, the most frightening thing that can happen, he leans over. How you got George?
I thought he was losing every round. He wasn't. He was winning. Because in between all that leaning back and forth, he was killing George. He was hitting him with shots that would have knocked down Alpha.
Once again, Ali shook up the world. And at that moment, he regained the heavyweight championship and rose to the top. The greatest fought on, defending his championship in spectacular fashion at the Thriller in Manila, the final chapter in the trilogy of epic battles with Smoking Joe Frazier. Ali, the victor, calls the fight the closest thing to death.
I think it's gonna be over. It's all over.
In 1978, he lost his title again to a hungry young fighter named Leon Spinks. But as he did with Frazier, Ali later caught up with Spinks, and in an unprecedented feat, he earned the heavyweight title for the third time. On December 11, 1981, Ali lost to Trevor Burke in 10 rounds. It would be the final brushstroke of his professional career, but it would in no way diminish the incredible body of work created on canvas by the genius known as the greatest.
That was his theater. That was his domain. You would create his own scenes, his own scenario, producer, director, everything.
He is the greatest blend of achievement, folk myth, honesty, belief in God. Put them all together in one body, in one mind. He's the greatest you can meet.
So this museum is vast. There's 5 floors. We're on the 5th floor. You come up to the 5th floor and they recommend you watching like a intro video to the way the center works, but they show everything about his life from year to year, all the history. They got films on the racism he had to endure, how he couldn't go into restaurants and eat because of the color of his skin and all this. Whole time, greatest boxer in history, American, human being, but because of the color of his skin, he was not allowed to go and do everything else. Everybody else was. They got all this listed. You could tell just by watching the train that was going to be his future. So check this out. Here's the Orientation Theater on the 5th floor. Plenty of attractions here. But the best is the view of the Ohio River. Oh my goodness. You scared? You can step out onto the glass. Look at that. There's the Ohio River flowing through the beautiful city of Louisville, Kentucky. There's the Galt House. The Galt House, who lives there? John Galt, of course. Who is John Galt? Look at that. Whew, man. Amazing. All right, another couple great quotes by the greatest. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. Amen. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. Muhammad Ali. We're now on the 4th floor.
It is such an inspiration to me that someone who can come from humble beginnings, rise to the top, and never forget to reach back and help other people. I think it is a perfect example for anyone living on this planet as to what we should be here doing.
Even after the onset of Parkinson's disease, he identifies the needs and issues that speak to him and responds.
You look at him, you watch his life, you look at his achievements, and you say, this man has done so much with his gifts, and they just keep on giving.
Look at this, all the Humanitarian Awards. So I just sat through a 16-minute long movie that I couldn't record in. And the focus of the movie we watched that I couldn't record was mostly about what he did after boxing. Even after he came down with Parkinson's, he continued to go around the world and be a bright light in the world and help the people who needed the help. Here on the 4th floor of the Muhammad Ali Center, we have a beautiful artistic work created by Kelsey Montague, an artist who was asked to design a collage of art based upon the inspiration of Muhammad Ali, and it is absolutely beautiful. Check this out. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, rumble, young man, rumble. There's my son. Hi, buddy. Comes around here. Look at this beautiful, beautiful artwork. Some giant boxing gloves, spotlights in the ring. Wow, use the floor as part of the work of art. This is beautiful. Wow, look at this. A collage made out of actual boxing gloves. It's beautiful. Hi guys. So our friend Janice is with us today. The man who has no imagination has no wings. Amen. The more people who tell me I can't do something, the more I want to prove them wrong. Okay, we're now down on the 3rd floor of 5. You start at 5, come down. There's this beautiful art exhibit. I've just walked through it from the beginning to the end. It's called Women and the Weight of Water. And it's basically to raise awareness about the scarcity of water around the world. Got heartbreaking images from around the world. India, look how dry it is. This young woman had to go out so far on a bike to get water. And I remember this from the Philippines. It never really kind of occurred to me, but the people who go out and do the laundry here in Iran. Look at this, Iran, this little girl. I read this village, there's 6 villages that have access to this little pipe that breaks every day to get just a trickle of water. Each village is allowed 2 hours per day to have their turn at the pump, and after the pipe falls apart, they have to fix it. They have to put the pipe back together so the water continues to go to the next people to get to use it. Sometimes there's not even any water. dearly. My wife used to do this when she lived in the Philippines, but this is Egypt right here. But it shows young girls carrying the water to take to the hut where the family lives, to do laundry, to cook, to bathe. It's heartbreaking. And it takes up this whole floor. And we were just having a conversation about this. The pictures and the images goes all the way down there. This is one of those things that so many people in blessed areas take for granted. I mean, I can look out that window over there. I don't know if you can see it from here, but I just showed you the Ohio River up there. We have plenty of it here, but there's so many places where, and this is one of the things that the Ali Center raises awareness about, just scarcity of water around the world. And I'll tell you, most folks just don't know how blessed they are to be able to shower when they want, drink water when they want, cook with water when they want, because it's not like that everywhere. All right, then on the second floor, we have the LeRoy Neiman exhibit, an artist who did beautiful works of art on Muhammad Ali here. Looks like he used pencils, charcoal. Gosh, this is beautiful. Chalk, I think. Wow. Paint. What beautiful, beautiful works of art by LeRoy Neiman. Wow. Looks like that was made with markers. Look at that. So we're in the gift shop now, and it looks like the U.S. government finally figured out a way to shut the man down. It says here I should be a postage stamp. That's the only way I'll ever get licked. If you haven't heard yet, they've just commissioned the new U.S. postage stamp. It's going to be Muhammad Ali. They finally licked him. And there's no one more deserving I can think of to be on a U.S. postage stamp than the greatest ever. All right, so we just came out of that 5-story tall Ali Center. But it continues. There's an overpass here. See, here we got the Muhammad Ali Center. Who in the name of all things holy is John Galt? All right. I know like 12% of you will get that. The 12% of you who are not intimidated by reading 1,200-page long novels. Oh, look at this. So you can look down over here. Confidence, conviction, dedication, giving, respect, spirituality. Those were his creeds. He lived them. He didn't just preach them. You know, a lot of people thought he talked trash. There's Louisville, always talking too much trash. Thing was, he backed it up with action. I had no clue. Seeing a private film in here that was 16 minutes long, he continued to do great things. Even after getting Parkinson's, he still just about giving him humanitarianism. Traveling the world to help people. Wow, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Of course, the Kentucky Derby's down the road in Lexington. We actually stayed there last night after blowing through 3 states on our first day. Virginia, West Bygod, Virginia, into Kentucky. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Muhammad Ali. Rumble, young man rumble. Beautiful. Yeah, so now there's that Ohio River again. Oh, what a beautiful building. We passed that boat earlier, or at least one that looked like it. Steamer Belle of Louisiana, Port of Louisville. So on the other side of those buildings I was just showing you, once we cross that overpass, we've got the Kentucky Center for the Performing Arts, this beautiful park, and the Ali Center over there. Guys, this was a long video. If you've watched the whole thing, thanks for watching. What a treat it was to be able to finally visit the Muhammad Ali Center here in Louisville. It's that wonderful Ohio River and the not so wonderful traffic and the noise it creates. But anyway, wow, what a great tribute they've got set up here to their hometown hero, world hero, Muhammad Ali. Keep watching this video. We're going to go all the way, across the United States and get some footage of our trip and then go back to Virginia after that. See you for more next time.